Hello, Milannh. Welcome back. So we have Milannh Proddhan. I've known him for more than a year now and been following up with his work. It's interesting that the journey with you, I've seen how it's progressed and seen how your clients have been doing well. I too have taken some sessions, so I know. And I would want you to first tell me a bit about yourself so that the audience understands what attracted you into numerology, especially being from a very proper corporate world.
Yeah, thank you again for welcoming me, and thank you guys for again. We've been part of some podcast earlier, so it's good to be back. So sharing something about my journey. I think my journey was very much. So I was part of the ITES sector for almost 18 years, and doing the corporate world in and outs, everything was going on. The pandemic, the lockdown changed quite a bit for most of us. So I was a part of that same list of people, getting this change coming through me. So what was happening was everybody was working from home, and because during the pandemic there was a lot of businesses which were not working due to various reasons, maybe due to the whole quarantines and stuff that we were having. So at that point in time, there was a lot of uncertainty in terms of where the business was. So our company where I was working at that point in time, they were going through a lot of budget cuts. So for a brief part of a year during the pandemic, say I think we were in lockdown, I think in March 2020. Just before that, Feb 2020, I lost my father. My father passed away, 14 Feb 2020. And then we had the lockdown and things were not going that great for me. So a good part of a year I was, going through that phase. Then suddenly somewhere numerology, because I was sitting at home and we were, not had much work to do at that point in time. So we were doing some research online and numerology came to me at that point in time. So somebody suggested that I do a personal consultation for myself.
So you started with yourself?
Yes, I started with myself. So the whole idea was to understand what was going on in my life at that point in time, because nothing was working out. I was stuck in a phase where there was not enough income coming in. There was income some months.
But that was same for most people, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
But later, once I did my consulting, I realized a lot of numbers that were around me that were impacting my life.
Okay.
So, for example, I was staying in a flat which was 202. So, if you add the numbers 202, 2 plus 0 plus 2 comes to 4. Now, 4 number is not a good number for me. So, I was staying in the energy of number 4 in that same house the whole of the lockdown.
Okay.
So, imagine that whole energy was not working in my favor. So, nothing was working for me. So, I was sitting at home trying to, work, but then it was not working for me. So, I did a lot of changes which was suggested by the numerologist I consulted with. And they suggested I move to a favorable number house. So when I got
this was during pandemic?
During the pandemic. So I think it was start of 2021 where I started making these changes. And I moved into a house which was now 1405, which is totals to 1. The 1 number is favorable for me. And just 2 days after moving into that house, I got a phone call for a different job opportunity, which I was looking for in the whole period of that phase. And since then, I moved into the house, things started changing for the better. So I thought there is something, very good here, which I need to deep dive into. So then I connected to my mentor who taught me numerology. And then overall, I've been deep diving into this for few years now. It's been over 4 years now.
Okay. Considering what you said about your house number, and it was a pandemic time, you had just lost your father.
Yep.
All these situations, do you feel, was it, how were you able to identify, excuse me, identify that it was the numbers that were bringing the change?
Because it happened quite often in terms of how it was working out. So when I was working and I was going to office, everything was fine because I was away from the number energy. I was only coming home mostly to eat, sleep, then go back to work. Not spending too much time in my house. Later I realized me and my father had similar numbers.
Okay.
So he was in the house the entire time because he was ill for, I think, 10 to 12 years he was ill. And
Oh,
he
in
was
the same
home all
place.
this so much time.
Okay.
And I was in the same flat.
Okay.
So imagine he was going through something which we couldn't understand, because at that point in time, maybe he could have gotten better if he had moved into a different house. But everything said and done, at that point in time, and for every general person, the whole reason why I got into this situation is because I felt immense change in as I did those tweaks that I had to do in my life. If you've seen, you've known my name,
Yes.
spelling has also changed. So
Yes.
a lot of people again worry about why that needs to be done. So again, I mean, we can always get a discussion on that, because that's a very important topic where people are reluctant to get into that kind of a discussion as well,
I think mainly because of the documentation.
which is not required to be done.
No, but people, I think, are so attached
Yeah,
to their name.
yeah.
And they feel that one change, then they have to justify also the change to a lot of people.
But again, let me tell the audience as well
Yeah.
that the name change is not required to be done in your documents to begin with.
Yeah.
You can get the energy changes done as per your favorable names and get the benefit of it just by making changes in social media and your phone contacts. That is going to be enough to get the energy that you require to make change in your life. Because if your name and your date of birth is not in the right alignment, things may not be as simple as for you.
But that brings me to this question that we are changing name in one area,
Right.
but your original document has it. Does
Right.
that cause any clash?
It doesn't. Let me ask you this. Like for example, you have your Aadhaar and your PAN
Yeah.
card. How often do you use it?
Very little.
So it's sitting in
Yeah,
either our
mostly,
wallets or in
yes.
our cupboards or in our lockers
Yes.
somewhere, and it's only used majorly for any kind of financial transactions where you probably taking a
KYC,
loan or doing a
yes.
KYC, or
Yes.
maybe you're asked at the airport to show your
Yeah.
documentation. But unless you're a frequent traveler, that shouldn't make a difference.
Yeah.
So it's just sitting in one place.
Right.
But if you look at social media,
Yeah, it's
if you, for
extensive.
example, like for you,
Yes.
you're running a business online.
Yes.
So your name is popped up into 10 different houses at one point in time. If you
Yes.
put a reel, if you put a video, that is more access. The energy flow is there across the universe. So there the impact is more than what your document would give you.
Yes.
Again, in terms of names, there are times where people are called by their pet names in their house. Those name energies also will matter to those people depending on what their numbers are.
That I noticed. That pet name even stays forever for some.
Yeah.
So then that would be different.
Yeah.
The
So
energies.
what we always do is when we get customers or when the clients come to us, and when there is a name analysis that we do for them initially, we ask them if there are any other names that you're known by very frequently. Maybe in the house you're called something else.
Yeah.
Maybe your friends call you something else. Maybe your girlfriend or boyfriend calls you something else.
Yeah.
So there's again that much name
Yeah,
usage
there are
is there.
many
Okay.
names.
So there are different names that
Yes.
people use. So again, that is again an important thing. So those energies also stay with you. So say for example, for me when I was growing up, I was not called by Milannh by everyone. I was called by Milannh. Somebody called me Milu. Something called me something else. So
Yeah,
there are shorter names and
Yes.
people get registered with those names. Like some of my cousins that I know of are not known by their original name. They're known by their names given to them. And then suddenly we have to realize that who is this person.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing always also is there.
True.
So that was that. And name change, again, as I said, it's something that people can always do without worrying about the hassle of documentation and stuff like that, because it works without, there is no clash or something that comes up.
So we look at name change. We look at home as well.
Right.
So I just want to understand, when we talk about numbers, where all it applies. So I know about the
Everywhere.
basic name. I know about flat number or business home, like
Yeah,
business
shop number,
commercial areas,
or like a commercial place number.
Yeah,
or
like that.
Maybe if you're in an area where there is no number also, but the name also then be total to a number to get that idea.
Yeah, because
like if
numbers
you
is
say, for example,
everywhere,
say
yes.
if you're saying in Seima house, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
So Seima house, you take the Seima house ka total and then go with that if there is no number there. So apart from house, You have your mobile phone number. Again, mobile goes with you everywhere.
Yes.
This mobile phone number. Then you have there are certain you also have employee codes in people's numbers, because you're known by your employee code in your company that you work for.
Right.
Then you also have numbers in terms of your mobile number. I said employee code. I said there is another thing which your car number as well. The last four digits of your car, whatever the number totals up to, that also depends on, and if it's compatible to you. So some person who's using an unfavorable car number may probably have a lot of accidents compared to other person.
Actually, that's my concern, that these are set by default. Generally, we don't get to choose
Correct.
your car number. You can change your mobile number.
Right.
But like you said, employee code. Now that is not in the employee's hands. So
Right.
what if that is unfavorable? You come to know that compared to
We also have some
analysis.
some tips and tricks, you could say. I wouldn't call it a complete remedy per se.
Okay.
But like, for example, say you recently purchased the house after saving money for a long time. Now today, if I come to you and tell you that, okay, Seima, this house number does not go with your numbers or your date of birth, you have to sell it today. Not everybody will be able to do that, and some people always have attachments with houses. If they have the house built from a long time, maybe their grandfathers and their fathers have been staying, their parents have been staying in the house. That also is another factor where you cannot do this or just go and sell it off.
Yes.
So there are remedies, there are things that you can do to control the energies of those numbers. When somebody comes to me for a consultation, depending on what their numbers are, how that number impacts them, we give them remedies. So it's not like hard and fast that if you have such numbers in your life, that you will only have a bad kind of impact. We can reduce impacts. That is the reason why remedies are given. The numerology I follow is a combination of Chaldean and Vedic Indian numerology, and we give you a lot of Vedic kind of remedies where you do certain things. Like a simple thing like would be to like for a number one. So if you have to do a remedy for a number one, so you offer water to the sun in the morning, first thing in the morning. That's kind of a remedy that we give to somebody.
So is this Vedic?
It's a Vedic thing because it's you're worshipping the sun as the god, right?
So how many type of numerology?
There are quite a lot of numerology. I mean, people will be amazed to know. I mean, there are a lot of people who are not aware, but there is Chinese numerology. China is a big country which follows numerology.
Wow.
So the whole reason why we had the pandemic, if you again let's come to this, so let me highlight this as well.
Yes.
So 2020 came to 4.
Yes.
China comes to 4. So there is that correlation where that came from. The whole pandemic started in China and how it's gone over the world. So the root cause was in China. So there's a Chinese Losho grid that they follow. Then there is Vedic Indian numerology that is there. There is something called as Pythagoras. There was a mathematician called Pythagoras who had researched quite a lot, because this actually started way back in 500, 600 BC. The exact time frame is not known because it's a very old kind of science, because this is purely based on calculations and taken from planetary movements as well. So every planet has been assigned a number, and based on that there are different numerologies. I follow a combination of Chaldean and Vedic because I have to give out Vedic remedies, because I cater to a lot of Hindu clients as well. So for that the Vedic remedies are also provided, but for non-Hindus also we have different remedies. So it's like, but being in India, the percentage of people that I connect with is going to be more Hindu than other cultures. So that's why the Vedic thing also helps in, because everybody associates with a certain god.
Then which is the origin then out of these different types?
It originated in 500, 600 BC. It was somewhere in the European country itself, but also a part of it was in India. But again, there is no fixed time frame or a fixed person that you can pinpoint to as to who started it. It's been going around for centuries, because again, astrology and palmistry and everything was going on for a very long time.
Yeah, exactly. I
So-
feel numerology must have dated back far more.
Yeah,
than
so
what
it
is
was
there
kind
to
of like a
recognize.
sister science of
Yeah.
astrology.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
the whole who started it and who started to
Yeah.
make it known to
That
everyone,
really
that is
is.
very unknown, because there are no books written for numerology. First thing, there are very limited books which have been written by mathematicians like Pythagoras and Kiro. Kiro was another mathematician who started with the name numerology. So these guys came in, and because they found out, they did their research, they predicted people's characteristic and behaviors and stuff
So,
like that.
what I want to understand, if somebody is not sure about their date of birth,
Hmm.
now everybody is.
Yeah.
But like how it used to be great grandparents,
Yeah.
they used to give you a fair idea that okay, ये होली का टाइम है तो ये टाइम पे पैदा हुए, या दिवाली के आसपास पैदा हुए, या ऐसा भी होता था कि स्कूल का टाइम आ गया, so they used to just randomly give some date. This is before, of course. अभी everything is on record.
Correct. So ऐसे
उनका
लोगों के लिए
कैसे
भी
होता था?
options हैं. So
हाँ.
I wouldn't say we will have 100% accuracy of predictions for these kind of people, but mota we'll be able to identify what kind of behavior traits that they have and assign it to certain numbers and see how it goes.
Yeah.
If, say for example, a year is given, so what happens is, for example, this year 2025 totals up to 9.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 comes
You
to 9.
take their name also in this?
No, here
Only
we're looking at purely because we don't have a date of birth per se.
Ah.
Because what happens is, date of birth is the most important for us.
Yes.
It is unique to you, unique to me, unique to a third person. Even if there are 100 people born on a particular date, all 100 people will have a different, they will have a similarity in them, but
Is
they
that
will
because
still
of
have
timing?
different. No, it is because of the name that you use.
Oh.
So the name and the number combinations
Achha.
will lead your lives differently. For
But
example, if
timing
you
also differs. Does that matter?
timing we don't take in numerology,
Okay.
because that is purely based on planetary movements and stuff like that. Here we use planets, but not in depth like how astrology does. So here we are probably giving you a roadmap on how you are as a person, what your life path is, and how you can use your skills and go in a way where you will get success. Now, before numerology, we did not have a idea of what our numbers were and how things are going to come out. So that's when numerology gives us an idea as to what are my favorable numbers. Like in my case, I knew my phone number was not good for me, so I moved out of that house, moved into a positive space, so things changed for me. Like that, I look at other people's numbers and does that. So now, coming back to your question, where if somebody does not have a date of birth, we look at the year, if they can give us the year, and then from there on we build it out, because every year has a universal number. Like this year I said is 9 number for 2025. So if somebody was born in a 9 number year, then we'll track it in the year per se and then give them a universal thing, because even the year energies impact you. Like this year, if you see, everybody would be interested in going into fitness, going to the gym,
the year
or
matters,
getting into fights.
Yeah.
So if your number is positive, you'll be doing positive 9 number things. If your 9 number is a little impacted or has an impact, then you will do things that you will have fights for no matter what.
It could be very positive also, right?
Yeah, where it can be like you'll become a humanitarian, you'll go and give donations to people and start doing those kind of things. You will also be in a situation where you will have petty fights for no reason. Suddenly you will pick fights for no reason. Suddenly at a drop of the hat there will be fights. So these kind of things may also happen.
So coming back to one more thing that I was curious, like shop. Okay, if somebody owns a retail or office, it could be a commercial or corporate building, anything. Number is one thing that plays an important role, like with shop number or office number it is.
Right.
Does latitude and longitude come here?
It will, to an extent, but again, latitude longitude is like, for example, in the shops in India and everything, the latitude longitude to pinpoint exactly is going to be a little difficult, because if it's a bigger shop, yes. With the smaller shops, there will be times where one latitude longitude will be between 3-4 shops. And if their numbers are different, say for example they want
intersecting,
to, so that may have a little different impact altogether. Yes, it is important in a way, but going into latitude longitude will give us too much deep dive information. Right now, at a surface level, we look at the shop number and how that is compatible to you if you go to buy a shop.
Yeah.
So if you say, for example, are a number 7 person, so you as a number 7, you don't have unfavorable numbers, but in general, like a 4 and a 8, there are numbers like always, if you see 13 number and 17 number, these kind of numbers are always are the numbers which are always misinterpreted, saying, oh, 13 number ka date hai, we should be careful and all this.
13 is very confusing. Is it auspicious or inauspicious?
See, it is all completely, see, numbers all are required in our life. Yeah, there are numbers which are a little challenging. Compare, if you just go back to last year, 2024 was challenging for many people. It was because the universal number 8. So that's where 8 number is kind of like a headmaster. He comes to take your class. So once in a year, headmaster comes to your class and says, okay, show me your homework. It's kind of that kind of a year.
I think it depends on how we use that time.
So if you have done your hard work and if you have done your bit, you should not be worried. You will get, you will get the results as per that. But if you have taken shortcuts, if you've not done your bit, then things might be a little difficult for you. It may be a little challenging for you. So those kind of things happen. So that is why when we see what numbers are for different people, we tell them what are your positives, what are your challenging numbers, which time you need to be careful. So you can plan your months and years depending. So if you have a year which is going to be challenging, you know it's going to be challenging, then obviously don't fight with your boss. For example.
Common sense.
So if you know that that person is going to be on top of you, if you just do little mistake here and there, then you're going to have it. Otherwise, there are times where if you have a good year, your boss will not say anything also.
And coming to boss, we all know numbers play an important role when it comes to compatibility.
Right.
So compatibility is seen, of course, in all relationship, especially when it comes to couples, marriage. People are very much getting into all this. Like traditionally, it was always patrika dekhte hai. That way, I think abhi itna awareness bada hai, sab kuch dekhte hai.
So I get people who come to me and say ki, "Arey, I like this guy or I like this girl, and can you tell me if this compatibility is going to be there?" Now they want an answer which is favorable for them, but I like to just give them the breakup what it is. I don't like to sugarcoat things because at the end of the day, it's up to you what your choices are. So if somebody's situation is going to be difficult, I tell them it is going to be difficult because the numbers are against each other. So you may have to, go through a lot to reach where you have to reach.
But there must be remedies too.
There are remedies, but what happens is, see, you've known people in our generation have struggled through a lot of things. Today's generation does not want to struggle too much. They want things easily, or they don't want to do things. They want things to be done without too much struggle, getting it easily and things like that. So if some young couple comes to me or some young person comes to me, I tell them, if you're ready to struggle, then only proceed. Otherwise, there is going to be challenges and things that come your way, and it's not going to be easy.
The newer generation is clearer about where they
so if they don't want to put the effort, don't want to go through the trouble of getting vulnerable or understanding where somebody else's issue is there, or what is my issue, what is the other person's issue. There are a lot of things. See, in a relationship, I give them this, but there are relationships I have seen where it is an anti-combination. Like there was a combination, I can give you 1 and 8, which are always considered like a combination against each other, and they should never get married. But I know people who are in that combination. It's not always all numbers. It's always about bonding as well. It's always about how much you and the other person adjust with each other. That's also more important. So this also is impactful in relationships as well as in partnerships, in office relationships as well, where you're with your boss or with your colleague or with your subordinate, whoever. There also the equation remains the same. The impact will still remain the same. It's just not going to be romantic like a couple, but it's going to be how
it is important because you spend more hours at office in business. And I'm very sure a lot of colleagues, are interested in understanding whatever peer pressures you're facing at office and how to handle that. This is such a vast subject, once again, that it cannot finish in such a short period of time. So today we will have to wrap up.
Okay.
We want you back very soon, Milannh.
Sure. You let me know. I'll be here.
Because I'm sure many business people want to understand. So anybody in any kind of career, whether you're in job or you're in business, I'm sure that's the place you spend most time. So we will come back very soon with one more podcast just for you to make your life much better. Okay, thank you, Milannh.
Thank you
See
for having me.
See you soon. And from my side, Seima Naik, once again, founder of UpStrategy. More details are there in the description. Thank you.
Thank you.